Hey guys, today I'll be reviewing this lovely 2010 Lexus GS. This is a 3.5 450h SE-L, so it's for absolute dog's bollocks. Yeah, CVT. Obviously these all came in, and yeah, just really luxurious. You know, this is about £50,000 new. And yeah, a little bit of insight to the GS. It was released for the 1993 model year, and this is the third generation of GS, being sort of running up from 2005, I think, all the way up to 2011. And yeah, the 450h was one of the last engines off the third gen before they sort of went onto the new shape. But yeah, you initially had a 300, I think had a 3 litre, 430 which had a naturally aspirated 4.3, and then the 450h with its 3.5 litre naturally aspirated V6 and an electric motor or hybrid motor. But yeah, this one's finished in a Black Opal Pearl, which is basically a black with a really dark navy blue pearl on it. It looks really nice in the sun. It's hard to see it on camera, but yeah, you've got 18-inch alloys on the 450h. The 300 and the 430s came with slightly different wheels, or not as big wheels, or yeah, nice looking. And yeah, the SE-L also came with, the SE also came with adaptive HID bi-xenon headlamps, along with this lovely clear plate Lexus badge as well. And yeah, just looks absolutely stunning. You know, like I said, about £50,000 new. This one's got 4 owners, just under 110,000 miles, which obviously is quite a lot. But you know, this one's had 16 stamps in the book. Full Lexus. It's had an absolute fortune spent on maintenance. You know, it's had more than the services it should have had, actually. And it's even got its original 2 keys, and also its Keycard. Which, funny enough, they did actually have on this car. But yeah, the SE-L adds to the SE by giving you a soft close boot when it's closed, or when you slam it down. You've got a boot lip spoiler there as well, and yeah, sort of a battery component lies there. You've also got some storage underneath this sort of load bay here. And also the Mark Levinson amplifier, which sits in the boots as well. And yeah, in terms of condition, the car isn't brand new. We've had quite a bit spent on body work. It isn't perfect. You'll find age-related, you know, marks and condition-based things. But yeah, it is quite an old car, and it is really mileagey. But it's been serviced and maintained really well. And the paintwork is, I'd say, you know, 75% there, or maybe like 99% perfect. It's not 100%, obviously, but yeah, you'll find a few marks here and there. The SE-L also came with Semi-Aniline Leather over an upgrade to the SE. So yeah, you've got really nice supple leather, perforated as well. This is very high grain leather. You know, it's really high quality. And yeah, you've got some ashtray back here, 2 air conditioning vents, and you've got sort of an armrest in the middle with 2 cup holders, which is quite cool. Some lights in the back, a tweeter on each door, and a speaker, and sort of a rear deck shelf speaker along the back here as well. So yeah, relatively nice. Basically the GS sat in between the IS and the LS. So it's not like as luxurious as a GS, but it's a lot more luxurious than an IS. There's a lot of features which this has, which maybe an IS couldn't have. But yeah, you have keyless entry as well, which is quite good. You know, 10-way electrically adjustable seats. So you've got 8-way electric and 2-way lumbar supports to make up a total of 10 ways. And yeah, even the same on the passenger seat, which is quite nice. Moving on interior, you know, just to start it up, you click the power button. I always found these funny because sometimes they don't always start with the engine and you wouldn't really know. But yeah, like I said, that V6 roars to life. And not only have you got driver's memory, but you've also got passenger 3-set memory. So really nice. You've even got electric tilt and telescopic steering wheel, which is memory. And this one has the optional sunroof / PCS, which is pre-crash system, or Lexus's adaptive cruise control system. So it's got cruise control, and you'll notice it has this little shark tooth yeah, a following distance button. So that's how you know if a car's got the adaptive cruise control. But yeah, the only way to get the cruise is by having a sunroof, and vice versa. So yeah, very nice tilt and slide sunroof for the summer we're in, and these really nice sort of gunmetal sort of bolster inserts on the top upper half of the front seats, which is quite interesting. And yeah, you've got some storage here which can be slid using this latch underneath, and also opened with some extra storage, as well as a USB in auxiliary and a 12-volt socket which you can plug into the phone still, which is nice. The SE-L also came with heated and ventilated front seats, which is quite nice. And you've also got a power, hybrid and snow mode, and you know, the car's got about 345 horsepower. It is pretty nippy for what it is. And yeah, the SE-L also added to the SE by giving you adaptive suspension damping. So this has adaptive ride. It will adjust the suspension to potholes and stuff, and I think it's even got anti-sway and anti-roll bars. So literally, it's very advanced suspension. You know, that's how Lexuses are renowned for being so luxurious and comfortable. But yeah, what I've always loved on the GS is this little control panel on the side here. So you'll see there's lots of laser etched buttons, not buttons, but sort of printings here. So if you press this button, you've got a little sort of trinket tray there, fuel and boot, and if you push this button, it deploys your control panel. So you've got electric folding mirrors, washer, so headlamp washers, illumination for the cluster, left and right mirror adjustments. It says left there and then right. It's even got the adaptive front lighting off and on, alarm, interior motion sensor basically, and you can choose between max and different modes on the cluster there, and your odometer, and what I also like, parking sensors, and also the electric rear deployable blind. It's crazy to think that, you know, this Lexus has stood the test of time, and you know, all the electronics are working. The adaptive cruise works, the blind works, the memory works, the ventilated seats work, everything works, which is quite good. You've sort of got the plastic texture leather here as well. The SE-L also came with hard disk drive navigation pack, which was basically called the Mark Levinson pack. So it gave you a 330 watt Mark Levinson premium surround sound system, which can be denoted by this little laser etched logo here. And it was a 5.1 surround sound system, still very good. You've got 2D navigation as well, which is a little bit outdated, but the screen is in really good condition. You know, you've even got a reversing camera on the SE-L as well, and auto tilting mirrors, auto dimming. You've got your time here, your temperature. Climate is mainly on the system. Well, the temperature is physical buttons. The demister and everything, most of the convenient stuff is there, but the fan, you do have to go on the screen. The air conditioning, which you normally leave that on, you don't turn it off, and you've got your direction flow on there. So yeah, you can have low, medium, navigation, map voice, so that's the destination entry. This is actual map. You've got information with your telephone and your fuel consumption. It's really nice, you know. This is quite an old system, you know, hard disk drive. It's still quite responsive. You can even have your Bluetooth and stuff connected. I'm sure you could have an Apple CarPlay retrofitted. You've got some hot controls here, and really nice high quality dials. These are sort of not like, they're not clicky volume knobs. They're sort of like you twist them and they're smooth, you know. This one is a bit like bony, it's a bit clickier, but this one's very smooth. Really nice. You've got some storage here along with parking sensors as well. Like I said, the SE-L also gives you I think the folding rear seats as well for added convenience, and telephone and Bluetooth controls of voice control, and automatic windows, along with this cup holder system here. And yeah, it's just really nice. The ventilated seats work really well, and you've got the very analog cluster with your it actually shows your power in kilowatts. 250 kilowatts is around 400 350 horsepower. And yeah, you've also got a foot pedal handbrake as well, which you just basically you just press it to disengage it, and then press it back down as far as you can is the tighter, or the shallower you go is the more loose, depending on sort of how much handbrake you want, obviously. But it's quite a convenient feature. Lexus made it easy. Obviously they were designed for sort of old customers really, and it's very easy. You've got leather everywhere, the semi-aniline leather, and it's really good quality. Carpets are nice. It's just a lovely car. The headlamps look almost like they came out of factory. They've been sort of reconditioned, repolished, and the parking sensors obviously look very interesting. I think Lexus probably for only people to do sort of rectangular or oblong parking sensors, which is quite funny. But yeah, under the bonnet, there's not a crazy amount to see, but you do have their lovely 3.5 litre naturally aspirated V6 combined with a hybrid or electric motor to give you a combined output of 345 horsepower in the power mode. And yeah, it's just overall really nice. These came in CVT, which, you know, in Lexus's very bulletproof CVT gearboxes. So it's basically a one-speed auto. You know, doesn't have any gears. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm moving on to the test drive.
They'll be test driving the GS. So yeah, obviously it's a really nice car. It's you know, relatively old now, but it's just such a lovely ride. I'd probably, you know, have one if I didn't like sports cars so much. But you know, it's a very economical car, despite having a V6. You've got that hybrid power, and yet, you know, quite a lot of sportiness and responsiveness when you put in power mode. I sort of like that from Lexus. So they call it power instead of dynamic or sporty. You know, it's sort of like just a different way of looking at it, really. It's just a very lovely car. This one drives well, and you know, Lexus are known for being very reliable and bulletproof. You know, this one's done 110,000 miles, and I don't think many issues have, you know, come up over that time, or mileage. But you know, with the full history done by Lexus, it's, you know, it's got a lot of precedence to it. But yeah, obviously you've got the navigation here, the maps, the telephone, and the reversing camera, and even the Mark Levinson, which, you know, is quite good. I like how it's very minimalistic with a control panel on the side, with your blinds and the mirrors. It's like, you know, stuff you won't be using every 2 minutes is in there. But yeah, at the same time, there's a few essential things, which is nice. I mean, mirrors is a bit essential, but to be honest, I don't really adjust the mirrors a lot. When I get in a car, but I barely even adjust them, to be honest with you. I just leave them how they are most of the time, unless they're really out. But yeah, it's obviously just really lovely. You've got electronic climate control, the outside temperature. You've got the basic Lexus stuff, which you get. And yeah, this very nice, forgot to mention, sort of cherry oak walnut trim, which you can't really see, but you know, in the video before you can sort of see it. Yeah, you've also got a sport mode for the gears. It's funny with the CVT boxes because they come up with like a gear. You've sort of got a J-gate sort of style. But it's funny because when you shift the gear, obviously, it's like they've basically got the same gear stick or sort of layout as the ZF8 torque converter, or the ZF5 or 6 torque converter. They put in the ISFs, you know, the 5 litre V8s. But obviously when you change gear, it doesn't do anything because it has no gears, basically. It's just got one continuous belt. Obviously a CVT runs on two conical, plastic cones with the belt. So it's a conical gearbox with infinite ratio, really, and you know, sort of revs up to its limit, and then you sort of lift off, and then, you know, you're not straining the engine as much. But yeah, obviously it's really lovely. It's a very smooth car. You know, when you have the damping on normal mode, the Sport stiffens it up a bit, but then again, that is the variable sort of damping aspect of it, or the adaptive damping, which, as you know, is very nice. But allows you, you know, to have either a sporty car or sort of a normal car. And the Gearstick is, you know, very relatively easy to use and comfortable. The adaptive cruise works really well on the motorway and stuff. And yeah, it's just a lovely car. I think 450h is obviously one to have with the most power. I think to get any decent power off these CVT boxes is a bit difficult, you know, when you've got a low power engine. But you know, with 350 horsepower, it's more than enough. You know, it's pretty quick. It's a relatively heavy car, but it is pretty impressive. You know, it's not a race car or a sports car, but yeah, nevertheless, it's a gorgeous car by modern standards, and yeah, you just get so much tech in them for money. I think really good value for money. A lot of people, sort of Baltic people, like Lexuses, and yeah, taxi drivers like Toyotas, it's because they're quite cheap, Toyotas, and I guess, yeah, Lexus is very nice, even with the semi-aniline leather. So just absolutely lovely, you know. But yeah, guys enjoyed the test drive, and I'll see you in the next one.